We are presented by First Commonwealth Bank here on WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160. Mel Woodard is with us this morning, Habitat for Humanity of Indiana County. We've not had Habitat in here for a while. Just thought we'd catch up with you a little bit. Mel, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us here today.
It's great to be here.
Habitat for Humanity is one of those organizations that does work quietly but works hard for the residents of Indiana County. And so it having been a while since we've had you in to talk about it, let's talk about the organization and what's up with them and your group lately.
Well, right now we're finishing a house in Ernest, PA, for a young couple. They should be moving in July or August.
Oh, good.
And when we get that done, we're still looking for another house to begin.
And when you say we're looking for another house, you really do have to search for the right house. It's going to be the right fit for Habitat, don't you?
Correct. It's a house that needs some repair, which we can do, and that we don't have to spend exceedingly amount of money to get it in shape. Yeah,
well, that's one of the keys. There are a lot of houses that you could consider, and the repair aspect of it, you've got some wonderful folks who can help you do that, and the sweat equity of the eventual homeowners is a big part of that. But you have to find something that's structurally sound and that has good systems available to it, and I know that's a process, isn't it?
That is a big process. Jim Zasitsky, our president, is very good at searching them out and finding them and attempting to purchase them at a reasonable price.
Yeah. As an example, describe this house in Ernest that you're just talking about that you're ready to finish up.
Well,
what was it like?
It's a typical house, a coal mining house. It's 3 stories, has a basement, a small living area, and 2 bedrooms upstairs and a bathroom upstairs. Now, that's one of the problems because some of them have adaptable to build a bathroom on the main floor. This one did not. The one we're working on right now, though, had a garage, a nice garage attached to it. So that made it we wanted it very badly, and Jim got it for a decent price. And we have a young couple who did not come on board early, but they are very hard workers. They're putting in their 500 hours, and they will have it finished, we hope, by July.
Yeah. Let's talk about the whole process of purchase and acquisition, repairs, make it livable, make it a nice place, and then putting a family in it. There is a pretty rigorous standard that has to be met in order to be someone who gets one of those Habitat for Humanity houses, isn't there?
Yes, they have to be in need, but also they have to be able to put in the sweat equity, and they should have a job so they can make payments. Some people think, well, they get the house free. They do not get the house free. These days, we're apt to spend $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. They pay an amount equal to what the supplies cost. There's no labor involved. So if we can do a house, let's say for $48,000, that turns out a 20-year mortgage, non-interest. They will pay $200 a month for 20 years.
Yeah.
And if it goes to $60,000, then you're up to $250 a month.
Yeah.
But usually a couple will be living somewhere and paying more than that in rent. And if they're willing to put in the sweat equity, they can get a nice house for a decent price.
Yeah, and that no interest aspect of it is very important, isn't it?
That's very important.
Yeah. So that happens. But in order to get this whole process started, you need funding.
We need funding, correct.
And so let's talk a little bit about how Habitat for Humanity is able to generate funds to do all of this good work.
Well, for the last 20 years, we've had a triathlon that was started by Jackie Kallal, and her sister, Becky Perkovitz, has been in charge of that for the last few years, and it's always held at Yellow Creek in the second week in June.
Which would be this weekend.
Which would be this Saturday,
yeah.
But this year Yellow Creek informed us in January that they would not be able to have the triathlon there because of construction at the park.
Yeah.
They're doing a whole lot of construction, which is going to make Yellow Creek very more adaptable for us, and we certainly hope to continue next year.
To return, yeah.
But for this year, finances will be down a little bit. We still do have some income because we have, after we get the one finished that we're working on now, there will be 7 houses, 7 incomes. So they pay a monthly fee, and we'll survive, but we will not have the income from the triathlon. Yeah. However, we already did have one person send in his fee for a triathlon. He said he always budgets for that, and even though he couldn't participate, he gave us cents of money.
Well, how about that?
That's very good.
A triathlon contestant who knew that the event wasn't going to take place this year, but wanted you to have the money anyway. What a great thing.
It was.
Yeah, my goodness.
And we have some other sponsors. I'm sure they'll be supporting us, sponsors who will keep us active.
But no specific other events planned that would maybe take the place or at least to make up some of the slack for the triathlon?
No, we have nothing else planned yet.
Meanwhile, the process goes on of looking at houses, and you mentioned Jim Sisitke, who's the president. You've got a pretty good organization of volunteers that are involved with Habitat for Humanity.
That's correct. There are 5 people who come very regularly, and they're up there working today. In fact, Jim didn't want to take off to help me here on the radio, so that's why I'm here.
So he's working at Ernest today.
He is working hard in Ernest. He probably has his radio on, I would imagine.
Let's say hi to all the volunteers working in Ernest today at the house. Hey guys, thanks for all your work, all you're doing here. That's wonderful that they're doing that. And by the way, you guys can watch it on Facebook. We're doing Facebook Live right now, but you can watch it later anytime.
And we have some other people who work on the board, a secretary who does, and treasurer who do a lot of work. Even though they're not working at the house, there's other work to be done.
Yeah.
And we appreciate their help also.
Well, Habitat for Humanity has been here for a long, long time, helping people. And, you give them the opportunity to, for a young couple starting out, to get their feet on the ground. Maybe some others who might get into a Habitat house, they're getting back on their feet for the first time in a long time. But the fact that they're able to participate and to add their own, we call it sweat equity, they're able to give their 500 hours of work to the building. It gives them that sense of ownership and of the fact that they're part of a team effort.
That's correct.
Yeah. It's very important to what Habitat is all about and that whole spirit. Well, we're sorry you can't get the triathlon going today, but I understand Jim Sisitke has promised that he's going to run, say, a half marathon at some point this year. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. He could get some sponsors and he could run but I don't think Jim's going to be running any half marathons anytime soon. He's too busy working on these houses.
That's correct. He does. He spends a lot of time.
Yeah. If somebody is listening this morning and understanding the fact that the Jackie Kallal Triathlon is not going to be happening and that they can help Habitat for Humanity anyway, what can they do?
They can send money, Box 663, Indiana, PA. We have a box over in the post office, and we'd gladly accept their money.
Sure. So they just write their check to Habitat for Humanity, whatever amount they wish.
Habitat for Humanity of Indiana County, Box 663, Indiana, Pennsylvania.
There you go. And for anybody who would have been running the triathlon, that would be a good thing, too, if you could emulate what that other person has done and send in your entry fee anyway. They'd appreciate that.
Very good. Thank you very much, Todd, for helping us out here.
Our pleasure. Mel Woodard from Habitat for Humanity, one of the great organizations here in Indiana County, doing some wonderful, wonderful work on behalf of folks who can get themselves into a home ownership situation and really get a good start in life. It is Indiana in the Morning, presented by First Commonwealth Bank here on WCCS, AM 1160, FM 101.1. Now remember, Mel's appearance was on Facebook Live, and we're going to be, of course,